What is up, everybody? It is Og here, back with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at some add-ons. So a lot of the questions I've been getting lately in both my stream and YouTube comments are, what are specific add-ons that you see on some parts of the screen, or can I get a full list of your add-ons? And so I wanted to make this video. The first part of the video, we're going to be breaking down my top 5 add-ons for AOE farming. Then the second part of the video, I'm just going to be going through every single add-on that I have, listing them all out, what they do, etc. So if you guys are curious about any that you do see, you at least have the repository there. If you are enjoying this content, please subscribe down below, give it a like, and let me know in the comments if there's any additional add-ons that you think that I should have and that other people should have. And if you want to see this live, definitely tune into the Twitch and the Discord links down below to be notified of when I'm going live. All right, let's get started. So at number 5, we have the add-on Kill Track. So Kill Track has been something a lot of people have been requesting lately, and it's honestly an add-on for a ton of fun. Reason being, it is this little add-on down at the bottom right that says kills so far. And so you can see here that currently I have 0 kills, but as we go through the instance and as we kill some mobs, you're going to see that fly up. And at the very end, we're going to have a lot of kills. So not only does this show this kill amount, which is cool to see how many mobs you're actually killing, and you can see, you know, maybe 1,000 mobs you've killed over the past hour or something like that, but it also actually provides a big benefit when you're doing instance farming. And that is the ability to compare your runs side by side. So let's say, for example, we're doing Mara, and one run we get 140 mobs killed, and another run we get 170 mobs killed. But you did the same exact pathing, you did the same blizzards, you did all that, and you think everything was the exact same. Somehow there was a 30 mob difference, and that's not just mob generation or something like that. That is something going wrong where mobs are resetting or something like that. So by using Kill Track, you can go ahead and you can compare your runs, and you can go back and analyze what exactly happened with that run. I recommend potentially recording it, or at least just running back through the instance, and you can see exactly what went wrong to lose those mobs. That way you can prevent that in the future and make sure you're killing as many mobs as possible. But obviously the other fun side of the add-on is just seeing how many mobs you kill. So let's skip ahead a little bit here, and we could see that as we kill the very last Hydras, we killed 221 mobs in one pool, which is always fun to be able to see that on the screen. All right, so let's talk about the add-on Loot Appraiser. So Loot Appraiser is an amazing add-on. You can see over here, it syncs up with TSM. So in order for Loot Appraiser to work, you do need TSM, and I recommend getting the TSM desktop application. Basically what it does is it pulls in a custom price source. So what I do is I go into interface options, I'll go to Loot Appraiser Classic, and here you can set up a bunch of options. So what you want to do to be able to keep track of every single item that drops is set quality filter to poor. This is going to keep track of all the items, but then you want to change your currency type to gold and loot alert threshold to a certain amount of gold. This is only going to alert you on items that exceed this amount of gold. That way you're not getting spammed with, I don't know, every single item that drops as a alert. So this is great to do. And then you set up a custom price source. So a quick and easy custom price source that I use, and you can quickly and easily type and use yourself, is max vendor sell or DB market. What this does is it takes either the max of the vendor sell price of the item or the market price of the item based on what TSM is aggregating from everybody's transactions. And so what happens is that TSM keeps a localized price source by scanning the auction house on multiple people's accounts, stores it into an online database, and then uploads it to your system as well. So you can get basically the price, the market price at any time of these items automatically input into here. So for example, let's take this first item off this mob, which is raw silver. That raw silver gets added into here. But what you can see is that the long barrel musket has a region market value of 35 silver. Now, for some reason, the vendor sell price sometimes bugs out, and this is only a region market value average. So you can also add in the region market value average to the formula, and that might help as well. But it comes up as 0 copper, which it's actually worth about 18 silver just from vendoring it. So there are some limitations with it and some bugs like that, but it gives you a good estimation of how much gold you can actually get from a lot of these different items. So you're going to see here as we go through and loot all these mobs real quick, we're going to see all these items flying onto the Loot Appraiser add-on. And what you're going to see is that it's keeping track of the currency that we loot and the looted item value. That way you can see raw gold, but you can also see an estimation of how much each item is worth. I've had runs through ZF where I've made like 20 gold in a run, not including an epic drop or anything crazy like that. And I also have had runs where I've made like 5 gold. And so it's all random, but by doing this Loot Appraiser add-on, you can really keep track of how much gold you're making at all times as you're running through these runs, and it's really nice. So here we're getting a ton of silk cloth, obviously, but we've already looted an item value of 6 gold and 50 silver. It doesn't look like we've gotten anything over 3 gold individually, though, because we haven't gotten any loot alert. We honestly also have probably gotten items that are worth more than that, just because when you factor in the vendor sell versus the DB market, some of these items, as we saw before, could come up as 0. But now we have all the mobs dead. We can see that the total items looted was 107, and we made approximately 11 gold just from this one clear alone. So that is a Loot Appraiser Classic. Now for TSM. So TSM is an amazing add-on, and I'm going to do a full in-depth video on this as well, probably. If you guys would like to see that full in-depth video, please let me know down in the comments down below so I make sure that I make it for you all. Here, you can basically group a bunch of items. Now, I automatically have a lot of items grouped through import strings, which I can also talk about in the video if you guys want. But basically what it allows you to do is, let's say that we want to import this as a piece of armor. We add one item to this grouped items, and now we can perform operations on it, such as very quickly posting them to the auction house, scanning the auction house for these items, trying to find these at really discounted rates, etc. TSM is an amazing add-on that a lot of people use in retail, but it's also great to have in Classic. So coming in at number 3, we have Weak Auras. Now, Weak Auras is a very popular add-on in general, and it allows you a lot of customization to be able to be notified of certain events going on in the game. You can use it for BWL, for boss timers. You figure out when bosses are going to go into frenzy and things like that. It's very customizable, and a lot of people have made awesome scripts for it, which is very cool. But in instance farming in particular, it provides a major benefit to know the amount of instances that you're locked out. So a lot of people ask me all the time, what is this bar right down here at the bottom of the screen that says you've entered this many number of instances recently, and more instances will become available in X number of minutes or hours or whatever, or seconds. Now, the idea is that when you're going through instance farming, you're trying to do these clears as fast as possible, right? And so what you want to be able to do is maximize the amount of instances that you're killing, the amount of mobs that you're killing, while not getting locked out. Because anytime that you're getting locked out, you're not killing any mobs, so you're not getting any revenue. And so the best way to be able to do that is to keep track of the exact instances that you're doing. And so here you can see at the bottom of the screen, we have the instances that we are locked out for, and we know exactly how many minutes we can keep on clearing out these instances without needing to worry about a reset. So let's show how that add-on works and how you guys can get it to show the exact same thing on your screen. All right, so here we are on Google. We're gonna Google Weak Auras Classic Instance Lockout Timer, and then we're gonna see a bunch of different links. And so what I recommend is going to the search Wagio. Basically, this is a Weak Auras kind of site where you can get all the different scripts. The one that I personally use, you can see by the picture right here, is this instance history. And the way that I know that it's probably good and the way that I determined to suggest or to use it was 18,915 views and 94 stars. So I know it's probably pretty good. So you go into here, and what you're gonna see is that there's this copy Classic Weak Auras import string. All that you do is you click that button. So you go into the game, you type /Weak Auras. Weak Auras pops up. You can see right here, this import button. You input and paste the string down here below and click done, and it automatically imports. Once you've had it imported, you will see it here, and you'll be able to see this bar down on the screen. You can drag this, increase the size, decrease the size, whatever you would like to do, move it around your screen. Whatever you would like to do, I like to keep it at the bottom. It keeps track of all the instances that you're doing. Now, if you are having some issues with it, some people I've heard have some issues seeing it right off the bat, or they want to keep track of instances faster, etc. This display threshold is how you change that. I personally have it set to 2 because I don't need to know how many instances I'm going to be locked out of the second that I walk into an instance. But if you do want to know, you just set this down to 0, and that will automatically keep track, I think, as soon as you walk into the instance. And that will also help if you're not seeing the bar on your screen, and that's something that we diagnosed when we were doing live coaching the other day. Overall, though, this is an amazing add-on to keep track of your lockout, so you maximize your possible mobs that you're killing without losing any efficiency from being stuck outside of an instance. Okay, so the next add-on that I want to go over is called DJunk. So a lot of people have seen my script that I used for ZF to automatically destroy items, and that's great. But unfortunately, I don't think I have a script for Mara, and I don't have a script for SM. But I do want to be able to clear out my inventory. As you can see here, it's very full, very quickly. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to use an add-on called DJunk. So if you type /DJunk, once you've installed the add-on, you can see this window pop up here. You have this destroy section called destroyables, and this is exactly how you destroy the items. So here you can see that I already have a bunch of items imported, but let's import some from my inventory. So let's say that I don't want Storm and Bree anymore. You drag and drop, and that's as easy as it is. Scroll agility, I don't need that. This hardened cloak that sells for 10 silver, I want to save time and not have to run back. Let's get rid of that. Let's see, what else can we get rid of here? Double stitch cloak, 10 silver. Let's get rid of that. And what you do, and once you have all the items selected that you want to get rid of, you click this Start Destroying button and watch it just fly out of your inventory. and then you're good to go, and you've automatically made a lot more inventory space. Now, granted, I have a lot of items that I don't want to get rid of here because they actually sell for a decent amount, but overall, you can kind of see how quickly this can clear out your inventory, especially in an instance like Maraudon, where you have all this gelatinous glue, this broken weapons, etc., that are just taking up a ton of inventory space. It also has some additional capabilities, such as excluding items that you never want to destroy or you never want to sell, and including items to always be sold just immediately. That is something you can also play with the DJunk add-on. So now for the number one add-on overall, it's actually two add-ons. We have Omni CC and Classic Aura Durations. So basically what these two add-ons do is they combine to make the ultimate mage farming resource. Why? Because they tell you how long is left on your certain abilities, whether it be Polymorph, whether it be Blizzard, whether it be Nova. And mages are all about timing, making sure that you Blizzard at the proper duration, making sure that you don't let Blizzard fall off, making sure that you Flame Strike Cone of Cold at the proper duration, making sure that all the mobs stay clumped and you aren't doing it too early. And so these two add-ons come hand in hand to make this possible. So the first one is Omni CC, and you can easily see that with this timer. You can also see Omni CC on your own cast bar, and you can see down here that we have 9 seconds, 7 seconds left with Cone of Cold. And so what that does is it adds the actual timer to your debuffs and buffs. This is great because we can see that we have 34 seconds left on Polymorph. We're not guessing how much longer is left in this little hourglass timer that's going down, but we know exactly how much is left. Now, the Classic Aura Durations, what that does is it lets you see debuffs on these mobs. Now, for whatever reason, it's being temperamental today and it's not actually showing up. I did try to update it, and so I'm sorry that I can't get the exact picture as it normally would be. But what you can see here where my mouse is right now is a little kind of timer where it's sliding right in line with the rest of the polymorphs. And what that is, that it's a Classic Aura Durations. So that actually shows the debuffs left on the mobs that you're currently killing. So when you go for a Blizzard, you want to make sure that you're keeping that Blizzard debuff up so you can see just how long you have left in this timer to make sure you don't let Blizzard fall off. Nova, you want to be Flame Strike Cone of Colding with 3 seconds left so that all the mobs come out of Nova at the same time, regardless of if some break from damage and some don't. This allows you to see how many seconds you have left so you can plan that perfectly. And I use this constantly in my farms to make sure I'm keeping up my Blizzards and keeping my Flame Strike Cone of Colds as cohesive as possible. So the number one add-ons coming in are Omni CC and Classic Aura Durations. Okay, so let's run through the rest of the add-ons that I have and all the add-ons in general, just so you guys know. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. So we start off with Atlas Loot. Atlas Loot is a very common add-on. A lot of people are familiar with it, but it basically shows you all the different pieces of loot that you can get in various dungeons. Auctioneer is a great idea if you don't want to use Trade Skill Master. So Trade Skill Master definitely takes up more resources. It's a little bit more cumbersome off the bat, but Auctioneer is another great add-on that basically keeps track of the prices for you and can update you on those. Bag Brother, I don't really use anymore, but what I actually do is Bagnon. And Bag Brother actually is decent because it has some additional information that it can add on to your bank and things like that. But my personal preference for the bag add-on is Bagnon. And so what happens is that it creates this nice little format. You can click clean all items and it will sort all the items for you automatically. And it just makes it in a much easier to prevent format for myself. Now, being Counter just comes with another add-on. A couple of these add-ons are just automatically pre-built and I didn't download them specifically, and so that's one example. Classic Aura Durations we went over, and Classic Cast Bars is a great add-on because it actually shows you what casts are currently being cast by your targets and things like that, so you can make sure that you're silencing the appropriate abilities, etc. DJunk we went over before, great add-on. Details is a damage meter, keeps track of damage, healing per second, and a ton of other things. Highly recommend this for any kind of damage tracking and things like that. Enchantrix and Enchantrix Barker is another thing which I don't really use much anymore, but 5-second rule I do. So 5-second rule is the blue bar that you'll see sometimes on my screen when I cast an ability, and it basically shows how long until I'm at my maximum tick of mana regen. This is amazing for healers, and I highly recommend because you can then use your 5-second rule to basically time when you're going to get the maximum mana back and cast spells accordingly. Informant is another one that I don't really focus on too much. Item Rack is one that is awesome. So up here, with Item Rack, and basically what it allows you to do is it allows you to switch certain sets out. And so here we have, this right here, and I haven't set up any on my mage on my new computer. I used to have them on my old computer, but let's say you have a fire resist set, a frost resist set, nature resist set. Let's say you have your AOE farming versus your PvE. You can make them all sets, and all you do is you just click the button for that set, and it automatically swaps all your gear over to that set and saves you a ton of time trying to filter through your bags, trying to find those individual pieces. Moving on, we have Kill Track, which we talked about before. Move Anything is another great add-on. So I personally, you might see me duck occasionally here and there and things like that when recording. I actually have something that's blocking the top of my monitor, which is not a lot of fun, but I'm going to be fixing that once I get a standing desk. But what I ended up having to do is I had to move around my bars a little bit. So I moved around the right bars, I moved my buffs and debuffs to move them down a little bit. My mini map, you can see it's not hooked up to the top of the screen, my player, target, etc. I've moved those all manually with Move Anything. So that allows you to move all the different kind of interaction, UI kind of things around your screen as you please. So it's a really nice add-on for that. Monolith DKP, something for our guild DKP system, which we use. And so definitely recommend DKP. It's a great system. There's a bunch of others that you can use as well, but this is the particular one that we use. Omni CC we mentioned before. Real Mob Health was a great add-on, but unfortunately it has been banned, which is wild. But I'm not sure why. But basically what it was doing is it was estimating the amount of health that certain mobs had. Scrap and Scrap Merchant allows you to sell the mobs or sell the items very quickly to vendors. So here we'll open up a vendor, and if I have scrap, I can just immediately get rid of all my junk. So you see all these spaces just automatically open up. So it's very nice to use. Here we have Slide Bar, Stubby Swatter. Those are another add-ons which I don't really focus on. I don't really use much. They just kind of came packaged in with another add-on. Vendor price is nice because it shows you on a tooltip how much an item is worth. So you can see here that this vendor's for, 3 silver and 75 copper for these items. And so it is very nice to be able to see just the vendor price of items to know whether or not it's worth to delete. Weak auras we mentioned before. Loot Appraiser Classic and Trade Skill Master we mentioned before. And Deadly Boss mods. If you guys are raiding at all, you definitely want to have Deadly Boss mods. It basically tells you when everything is going to go on. So I highly, highly recommend using Deadly Boss mods. And then last is Questy. So Questy, most people know by now, but quests back in the old days, back in vanilla, were crazy. You didn't have any kind of advanced tooltips helping you around. So Questy has really helped with that. All right, everyone, that wraps up today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you did, please subscribe and leave a like and a comment below to let me know so. And if you guys have any other ideas for any other videos, please let me know in the comments below. Also check out the description for the Twitch where I do all this live, and also for my Twitter and Discord where you guys can be notified of any future updates and when I'm going to go live on stream. So I'll see you guys in the next video.